A young girl at the M.A.R.I.A.S rally read out a poem that I wrote. Now, as much as I might have a bit of a mouth on me, I'm really not one for reading, and certainly not reading something that I wrote myself. But I'm hoping that in reading it, people may have some understanding why I created M.A.R.I.A.S in the first place. I hope to try and do it justice, as much justice as she did. Um, I'll give it my best shot. I apologise if it's not, if it doesn't hit the notes that I want it to hit, but I will do my best. So, here goes. Deep despair is all I feel, a lost soul floating, what is real? My tortured mind and body too, barbaric crimes committed by you. I have no friend, not one to name, but you have many who play your game. Uncles, brothers, fathers, sons, it was all of you, not just one. Drugs and booze you forced on me, cuffed to a bed, you holding the key. Spread 'em, you said. I've friends to meet. To you and them, I'm just easy meat. The horror still in my head run wild, not yet an adult, no more than a child. Sleepless nights, fearful days, abused by many in savage ways. Raped by cock, bottle and gun, who cares, it's a bit of fun. Your climax comes with many threats, silence gets added to my list of regrets. A loving family denied its grief, protected by me in my stem belief. That you'll come for them, you've said you will, the things you'll do, the ways you'll kill. A runaway I've now become, nobody's daughter, nobody's son. King's Cross Station, London town, on concrete streets, I lie down. Childhood gone, trust destroyed, self-destruction is now deployed. My worthless body, in tattered shreds, lies here dying on a public bed. I close my eyes on a need to forget, though nightmares come, they bring a guest. A ghost of the girl that I once knew, a little girl killed off by you. To resurrect that child is my aim, if someone will believe I'm not to blame. The scene replays events unchanged, a horror movie, sick and deranged. A warrior I'll be, awakened, I hope you realise. It's not over, you've not paid the price. In justice' name, an army of all of your victims will arise. I join the ranks of hundreds, 1,400 to be precise. When I wrote that obviously with the girls in Rotherham in mind. I also wrote it with regards to my own experience of life. As you can see, even reading it, because it is partly my story, it's really not an easy thing for me to read out, hence why I asked somebody else to do it for me. It's very hard to explain to people the devastation that rape creates and what it leaves behind. Trying to be something that everybody expects you to be, constantly trying to be strong for everybody else, whether it be for your family or your friends or other victims. You find that when you're looking at other people's problems, your own seem so much easier to bear. But it's a burden that doesn't go away. It's a nightmare you live every single day. And whilst I'm a survivor and I'm strong and I'm strong-willed and I'm strong-minded, it doesn't mean I don't still suffer every day, because I do. I make no secret of the fact that going to bed, laying there, night terrors, waking up, where I find that I'm asleep on a cold slab because my brain is somewhere where it should never have been, but where has been before. These memories don't leave you. They're embedded on your head like a blueprint in your mind. You can't get rid of them. But you learn as time goes on that some survive and some don't. And of all the girls that are out there, all of you, that are maybe still victims, it doesn't have to be where you continually remain a victim. There is a possibility you can become a survivor. And the way you survive is you take the control back. You take it back and you keep it and you don't give it away. It's a hard, long battle. I'm 46 years old. It happened when I was 15 years old. So that tells you how long a battle it is, and every day is a battle. And there is no one day that gets easier. We don't wake up one morning and suddenly everything that happened to us has disappeared. It doesn't disappear. It stays with you. But there are girls out there who only know how to be victims. And I kind of find that quite heartbreaking because they deserve to be survivors. And for every government official that allowed this million girls plus and growing to be ignored, every one of you should be held accountable. Every one of those girls has had something ripped from them that you can never replace. Their childhood, for one. When you're that age, you want to go with your mates down to the beach or the seaside for the day, or maybe you got town and you knock about the town with your friends. You're not doing that. It's taken from you. But I'd like to give these girls a chance of resurrecting the child and perhaps embracing her a little bit in her own life. I myself found that having my children in the first few years was really difficult. But when I found my inner child, my children gave me that. And I'm grateful for that. And I love both my children. I've never hidden from my kids that I was raped. I've never gone into graphic detail either. But both my kids know that I'm a strong person. And they've become strong, young adults because of it. And as much as I don't think children should be taught sex education at school when they're 5, 6 years old, I think parents do need to be warning their children of the risks. We need to be telling our kids what to look for and why we need to be looking for it. We need to warn them, because if we don't, government officials are not going to be there. They will let them down again. So, as hard as this was, probably the hardest I've ever done, because whilst I can talk about myself in quite a clinical manner, it's a coping mechanism. You talk in it as a mechanical manner is purely because you try to remove yourself as having been that person. But it doesn't change the fact that it was me. It doesn't change the fact that as a small child, everything that I grew up believing should have been beautiful was taken away. Because it was. But I've taken it back. And I will hold on for dear life, and I will fight for every single one of those girls. And I will continue to do so. And it matters not how many newspapers that want to deem me as far right, just for not being far wrong. I kind of would like to invite these newspapers and these journalists to come and meet me, contact me, talk to me, then judge me. But don't judge me without knowing me. And don't assume that I think the only victims are white girls that have been targeted by Muslims. Although that is the case. There are many women that are victims within their own families. We can sit and pretend that that's not the case, but it is the case, and it is the truth. And I would fight for the rights of every Muslim that chooses to leave Islam. I would fight for the right of every woman who is Muslim that is abused by her husband when domestic violence is sanctioned in the Quran. It may be sanctioned in your book. It may be permissible within your faith. It is not permissible within this country, and you have rights. And I will stand up for every Muslim woman who is beaten or cannot say no to her husband when he wants sex. For every woman that wants the rights of the women in this country and what our suffragettes fought for, I will continue to fight. If people find this offensive and wish to deem me a racist or a fascist or a Nazi or a bigot or any other word you wish to address yourselves to me. For every person who has sent me death threats, rape threats, sodomy threats, well done. I'm sure you feel very empowered. The reason I don't screenshot your comments or your messages that you send me of violence is because you are not important enough. And the only reason I'm mentioning you now is so you know how unimportant to me you really are. So I hope that this goes some way to explaining why M.A.R.I.A.S exists, what made me come up with the idea, and why I believe that men have as much right to be as much of a feminist as I am. I'm a feminist. I am not a feminazi. I am not a racist. I am not a bigot. I am not a fascist. But I will defend the weak and the vulnerable. If that makes me all of them things, then clearly these people are too blind to see what is right in front of their eyes. But for now, I'm sorry this is not an upbeat. I'm normally such a jolly soul. It's been a really hard week. There have been 3 other girls that have come forward and contacted me. I'm yet to make contact with them on Skype, and I know already some of the story that goes with them, and it is heartbreaking, and it's reminiscent of what was the things that were done to me. I can feel my heart now wanting to pump out of my chest. But I know every single one of them girls. I will give you that voice, and I will be the voice for you. If that makes me all of those things, I'll take every one of those threats and I'll take every one of those accusations on the chin, because you actually matter more to me than what other people's opinions of me are. So to every one of those girls, I will raise my cup of tea, because that's what I do. And I will say to here's to your future, because you have a future if you want one. For now, everybody take care, and I'll speak to you all real soon.